sneaking around in the fuel station. We know that there's so many things to see here at Women Deliver. And I'll have to tell you, our last speaker today has a dynamic story. I will be inviting Ms. Lucky Gill, founder and president of Global Girl Power, to the stage. Sometimes progress starts with one individual, and Lucky Gill's mother refused to see her for 3 days when she was born. From a forced child marriage at the age of 15 to becoming a mother at 16, Lucky bore the brunt of discrimination, inequality, and sexual abuse in a misogynistic society. She always had lurking questions: why me? When will it end? And the only answer she ever got from many is, it's destiny. So please join me in welcoming Lucky, the founder and president of Global Girl Power, to the stage, and she will discuss today progress and how she changed her destiny. Welcome.
So, time? Okay. 15 years, 11 months, and 24 days. That's how old I was when I got married. Who was counting? Well, I was. Because it was the day my dreams shattered. I wanted to be a doctor, but that didn't matter. Because not only I was unwanted, I was also invisible. Unwanted because I was born in a male-centric society of India as a third daughter, and that itself is a huge issue. My mother, a teacher by profession, chose to give birth to all 4 daughters of hers, unlike some other women in my family who had no choice but to abort them. My mother was ahead of her times. She taught us about rights, values, responsibilities, choices, how to live a life with dignity, self-respect. However, she failed to give us the power and strength to exercise that right, so that we too could live a life where we had some freedom of choice. When I was little, I noticed the respect she got as a teacher in the village. However, I also witnessed my mother expand and shrink under society's opinions, expectations, and judgments. I saw the same woman break into thousands of pieces every time she walked the path to the school. And these old aunties would come out and say hello and pretend that they cared, but only to spit out some words like, sorry to hear that you only have girls. Oh, girls, we're sorry for you. We will pray that the next time you have a boy. It's like they were showing some sort of solidarity by continuing the mourning of our birth long after we were born. So to avoid this, my mother dressed my little sister as a boy so she could save herself from this humiliation, ridicule, or shame. So when my mother was having her 5th child, my brother, she even instructed that if it is a girl, do not tell me those 3 words, because they are the most daunting words that she didn't want to hear. She said, put me to sleep. I felt I was born into a family where only our boy cousins had the right to be loved, cared, and receive a special treatment. I tried to fit in by trying to prove that I was as capable as them, and I could do anything, or even better than them. For my mother, things didn't stop there. It wasn't that easy. One day she had left her sick daughter, my sister that's older than me, Suki. She left her home, but she was only 2 years old, only to be found on the same cot under the burning sun when she came back from school. Next day, she took all 3 of us to the school with her. The way she described it to me, I had you in my arms, and my older sister could walk, and the other one was in this basket on her bike. And she just gave her daughter to the other teacher who was traveling a daily basis from my Nana's village. And she said, here's my daughter. Give her to my father if she survives. but throw her in the fields if she doesn't. My father's biggest worry was our safety. He wanted us to be married before anything bad happened. Inequality, discrimination, bullying, eve teasing, we faced it all. As a young girl, my religion, the Sikhism, it was beautiful. It made sense because it advocated for women long ago. Any other movement started in 15th century and declared that women have equal rights. As I was making sense of all this, the misogynist, patriarchal society failed both of my parents, my educated mother, my army man father, but a middle-class family though, who felt like that marrying me off in this unsafe society was the only safe thing they could do. Only thing that mattered to them was that it was a good family, good match, no dowry. Remember those words, no dowry. 14 days between the engagement and the wedding. So that's me when I was in college. It's right there, engagement. 14 days between the engagement and the marriage. I remember every single day. I cried rivers under the pillows, quilts, so nobody could hear my cries. Whenever I gathered any courage and I asked why, my grandmother's response would be, it's your Kismat, it's your destiny. I was 15, so was your aunt, so get over with it. Or look at your poor father, he has heart issues, all that blackmailing and drama. Yes, I got married to a very good family, the best in-laws that anybody can ask for, a great husband who became my best friend. To this day, I'm still married to the same man, 26 years. We have 2 beautiful children, my daughter who's just finishing law school, and a son who's the best feminist that I've ever known. People would say, why complain then? No. All that doesn't justify the fact that I was a little girl. I had hopes, I had dreams, I had ambitions, and I also had feelings. I am a human being, not a mannequin that you could dress up and say, you look like a bride. Fast forward, got pregnant at age of 16. I would hide my tummy with shame that I had done some sort of crime in my village. Had my daughter before my 17th birthday, I literally went through the same thing that my mother did. I was told, you have given birth to a stone. Her birth was not celebrated. Moved to Canada, and I was actually asked to get a gender determination test while I was in Canada. Multiple miscarriages broke me. My emotional health deteriorated day by day. By the time I had my son, I hardly remember the first few years of his life. Near the same time, my sister-in-law faced the same hardships here in Canada. She had 3 daughters. She was looked down upon. Same story all over again. By this time, I had realized one thing, that it doesn't matter where we live. This thing that we all face, gender-based violence, discrimination, all of us, could be any color. It doesn't look at the color, the race, the culture, how rich or poor you are, where you live. Our issues are the same. One humanness. Our humanness is the same. No personal development courses could make me forgive the society or understand the victim versus responsible scenario. I couldn't understand when I was told, you're playing a victim. Tell me, explain me how I was responsible. The day my daughter was exactly 15 years, 11 months, and 24 days, I took her to my parents' place, brought her in front of them, and I said, this is how old and little I was when you forced your decisions on me. I declared that day that I will not be the victim of my story, but I will be the hero for my children's story. I will end this thing with a message to my daughter that don't let anyone else determine your worth. Don't dim your light or expand, shrink like your grandma. Use your voice. Exercise your rights, your freedom of voice. Respect your elders, but remember the difference between respecting them and begging them to recognize your worth. Your strength and power lies deep within you. Speak up, rise up. Share my story with my granddaughter and her children after that. Because, bache, this is the only way to crush the centuries-old oppression and patriarchy. We are strong, but together we are stronger. We can break the cycle, not just for me, but all the mannequins out there that don't have a voice. You tell them that this is how we break the cycle and we change the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Lucky. Thank you for your bravery in coming today and telling your story. Tell us a little bit more. Tell us, how are you going to continue to use your power for change?
One of the biggest things that hit me was that female feticide that was also happening in Canada. There was multiple reports. I was actually taken to Blaine. My husband was young. Every time I asked him, why did we go? He's like, I don't know. Everybody was doing it. Were we going to abort the child? I don't know. He was also young. Everything was back of my head. I kept on questioning. So once I had declared and I had kind of forgiven my parents, I actually did at that time. That day, my dad ended up in the hospital with a heart attack, second one. I knew it was time to move on. I was done with my story. I was done blaming the world. If I wanted to leave this world a better place, I needed to do something. So I started with the global walks for missing girls and advocating for girls that were for female feticide, which later became into Global Grow Power. And through Global Grow Power Foundation, we just support women and girls locally and across the globe, just whatever we can, working mothers the best we can. That's what we try to do. And we're a platform that takes a stand on the gross violation that women and girls face. So every time there is something, we speak up, we use our voice. We use the power of the voice.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank
you so much.
And this, by the way, is my wedding dress right here. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. That concludes our last Power Talk for today.